Welcome to video 6 in our Restore Parenting video series. Today we're talking about using affective statements. Sometimes they're referred to as I statements, but they're used to explain the impact that a particular behavior has on you. Affective statements usually take the following form. First, stating an observation. Now this should be a neutral, non-judgmental statement of the situation. Simply noted, what did you see? Then state how you feel about the situation. Now, you are only speaking about your own feelings, not how you perceive that others are feeling in that moment. Then state what you need. What do you need to have happen as related to the behavior? Then lastly, make a request. What can the other person do? It seems simple, I know, but it can take some practice, especially when we're addressing a negative behavior or a conflict and our emotions are heightened. So consider practicing by commenting on a positive behavior. It might sound something like, when you finish your homework without me asking first, I feel so proud of how responsible you are. It really helps me because then I have one less thing on my plate to worry about. I'd love to see you continue taking charge of your assignments in the future. Now, what might this sound like to address a frustration or a conflict? So perhaps you're frustrated about coming home to a messy house. You could use a non-affective statement like, you're so disrespectful, you never clean up your mess. But let's try and put this into an affective statement by stating our observation, our feeling, need, and request. It might sound something like, when I come home and I see the house is a mess, I feel devalued. I can't do it all on my own and I need some help. How do you think you might be able to help in the future? See how these feel different? Of course, it's not just about what we say, but how we say it makes a difference too. I know it might feel a little bit indirect to address issues this way. However, part of using affective statements is to help open the other person up to hearing what you have to say and for them to understand how they're impacting you with their behavior. If someone spoke to you using the first example, how do you think you would respond? Most of us would either completely shut down, we'd argue back, or we'd find ways to justify our behavior and why we think the other person is wrong. Or we would just walk away feeling like terrible human beings. And none of these responses help to build up positive relationships. And most of them don't lead to positive behavior changes. At the end of the day, using affective statements may take some work, but it can be a great tool to help get your needs met and help preserve the relationship with your child. For more tips on using affective statements, you can check out the corresponding worksheet that goes along with the video. Thanks for watching.